Good morning, boys and girls, friends and lovers, children of all ages. We're making basil pesto this morning. Give it a minute, see if anybody joins us. As I pinch off from the stem each of the leaves of the basil plant, we want to make sure that we're just getting the plant leaf, no stems, this morning as we make our basil pesto. On some of these thicker leaves, we can actually peel around the stalk of the leaf to get that off of there and get less of that meat. You can also peel it back by folding the leaf in half. Then you get rid of that thicker stalk out of your pesto. How's everybody doing this morning that's joining us? Good morning, Lucinator, and some others. First one I've seen. So, I just wanted to pull an Abby this morning. We see that he makes food in our kitchen on a regular basis. And said, why not me too? There's others in the house this morning as well. There's Janet's left. The peanut gallery? Is that you are back there? Monk Guy 83. You might hear Janet's laughter in the background. We got this basil yesterday, for those of you who are watching, at the web building, the Denver Botanical Gardens at Chatfield. Farmers Market. That's right, every Wednesday. If you have SNAP benefits, you get half off. So those who have the advantage of getting some food assistance through the government, the SNAP benefits program, you can go to the web building, usually about 9:30 in the morning on Wednesdays. I think they stayed until about 1 or 2, and you can get fresh produce. They had colorful carrots, they had full heads of cabbage, they had these, morning Janet. Janet Madson's in here, oh. So, So yeah, at the web building yesterday, we picked up these, it was 10 stems for $1. Very cheap, healthy, way to get, fresh produce. As I said, they had cherry tomatoes there. They had lots of fresh produce. And the idea is they bring it right there into the web building in the middle of the city. Make sure that, everybody has some fresh fruits and vegetables, support their program. And again, if you're on SNAP benefits, you get that stuff at half price. Now, what I did was I put this in water overnight so that my stems would try to stay healthier. And right now, again, I'm just preening all of the basil leaves off the stems. If you want, you can reinsert these stems in water afterwards. Get yourself a small glass like this, and you snip the stems generally on an angle. I'll show you with a pair of scissors here right now. So you can cut your stem like that on an angle so it's fresh. And then you stick those in water and sunshine. And even with just barely any leaves on it, these will often grow roots. Just the green of the stem will start the photosynthesis process, and roots will generate. And you can get brand new basil leaves right in your home, regardless of the size of your house. We often have that in the windowsill here. Just trim some leaves like that. Again, stems, put them in water. There's even some little bit of greenery on there. And we'll set that aside. That'll grow brand new and fresh. So the other thing we need to do, of course, after we pull our leaves, is wash them off, right? So we'll put them in some water and rinse it. And now we're going to put our basil in this food processor here, which you kind of see on the side of the corner. I don't know if any of you have had fresh basil pesto before. It's ideal with a pine nut, and I have these pine nuts here that we picked up at the store. I don't know what the peanut gallery just said. What'd you say? It's actually hard to find in many areas of the United States. You have to go to specialty stores to get them. In the past, we've used everything from fresh black walnuts that we've harvested up in Wisconsin, pecans, almonds. In the pesto, it's got three basic ingredients: nuts, basil, and oil. And again, I'm just finishing off these leaves here. And there's a lot of basil leaves that you would get for $1. Or again, it's a very hardy plant. As long as you give it water and pinch the tops before they flower, the basil plants can get 4 or 5 foot tall and as wide around. Like a mint, it'll grow very heartily and get out of control if you let it, which is generally a good thing. I'm a big fan of manicuring my basil early in the spring to make sure that the base stems off as much as possible. And that gives a more full bush to the basil plant. What? You said Julia Childs ain't got shit on me. Have you ever watched that movie, Julia? It's about a woman who finds Julia Child's cookbook and starts a blog and does it for like 30 days. Transforms her life. Cooking should be the essence of our life. In many ways, it slows us down. I'm not sure what's going on in the gallery this morning, but I have dearly missed basil pesto. And so we've got the leaves there. And fine nuts on the left. Oh my gosh, who's got basil? Oh my gosh, really? So we put some pine nuts in there, and our neighbor, it turns out, good morning, Newfie, has more basil. So I'm just going to drizzle some oil in here. It's olive oil, okay? With some standard olive oil. And we'll show you now, we have pine nuts, basil, and some coated oil in there. We might have to add oil. We'll look at the consistency as we go here. So we're definitely going to need to go get more basil. And the reason is, it's just not thick enough. We'll show you this. That's a good start to our process, but it turns out it's a fairly small bowl. So let's give this another grind. Let's set that down. Yeah, we want that to be a real powdery powder, not so chunky on the leaves there. So we'll try to spin that in a little bit more. Two-handed work. Sorry about that, folks. So I'm going to call that not done, but get an idea what it looks like there. Let's go get some more basil. On our porch? Yep. All right. Yep. I'll take a scissors with us. Alleged. Oh, look at that basil plant right there. So this is exactly what I'm talking about. It'll get tall and you actually see there's 3 or 4, maybe even 5 plants in there. That's some delicious looking basil. So we're going to add that to our recipe this morning. and we'll give you a look at that beautiful plant as we do some. What I'm doing here is I'm looking for some of the bigger leaves. I'll just take a few minutes to clip those off. Now, I'm not going to take the tiny leaves on top because the biggest leaves are obviously, doing the most work here on this plant. So, a new set of instructions with the clipped leaves. The smaller stuff will boost. And every time you harvest off this plant, it actually tells the plant to grow more. So that's important. So again, we're just starting with all the biggest leaves, not the very top, responsible way. We're just cutting off at the stems. Lots of leaves, and it accumulates quickly there, you see? Beautiful leaves. So what happens when we crimp this, and I'm going to show you this, is that they sprout. They split here. And so that's good. That's real nice. The show's been harvested regularly throughout the year. These actually, if you let a basil plant in a warmer climate, I know some of you might be in Florida or Australia or something, this plant will actually produce year-round, over and over and over again, heartily. Just taking the biggest leaves here, the ones that are spreading out the most. I'll give energy direction to the smaller leaves, and there'll be lots more happening on this plant in the days to come. And a good harvest like this, produce some food for everybody, and give it some more motivations to work, produce. I feel like Bob Ross right now with the happy little trees, only I'm doing a little happy little pruning on this. Fine folks are saying in the chat box. So this is your perfect time to talk crap. Man, this is just such a full plant that we're definitely cleaning up a little bit here. If you don't have surgical efforts, instead of ripping the stalk, wounding it, you don't want to do that. See, as I'm thinning, there's lots of leaves underneath that just aren't getting the light and energy they need to grow. So this gives them the chance. And what a beautiful basil leaf our neighbor is growing, our basil plant she's growing here. And many of you who can't grow all year round, you might find yourselves with these big basil bushes, and maybe they're too big to bring into the house in September, October, when the frosts come. What you can do is you can uproot the plant. You can cut the stalks, or you can uproot it and hang it upside down in your garage or in storage space, even outside in a paper bag for a couple of days, and it'll just be able to strip the stalks and clear all the basil leaves off the plant. It's a good way to harvest your herbs. You can do that with marjoram, oregano's, mint. Just cut it, just uproot it in the fall, and put it in a brown bag for a couple of days, and then what you're able to do is have dried herbs. You can crumble it, or I recommend people leave them in the whole leaf form when they do that, and crumble it when you're ready to use it. It keeps the oils in the plant, and it keeps that aromatics and everything. So this is such a beautiful plant. And it's got such an abundance of leaves. Our neighbor Lynn is gone for about a week on a trip. So when she comes back, she's going to be amazed to find how hard. Look at this. I just keep fine. Lift all of that out. Yeah. Still. That's a nice pile. And I think the tree, you see, I'm really not even thinking about ourselves and what we need anymore. Just giving this a little chance to boost out again, bloom. There's a lot of it here. A lot more light starting to come through that plant, folks, as you can see. It's less thick. It's still got some giant leaves on it. Trim a few more out here. You really don't want... There's a difference in the taste. The bigger the leaf, I suppose it might be a little more bitter. I should have brought that with me. It's amazing how much a pile of basil will crumble down quite quickly. So I think we're good on this plant right now. Maybe one or two more over here that I see. You really could probably spend another half hour on this and get bored with me. So we'll take this back in. Hope you're all enjoying the morning here with our basil pesto making adventure. That you're all having a good morning. Peachy Rider. What happened to Peachy Rider? Arrested? Nice. For filming inside the courthouse. Yeah, this is becoming a real problem, folks. Our freedom of speech is under attack. Under attack. So, we've got that bowl full of pesto now. We'll rinse that off again. I'm sorry. Basil. Stuff that whole thing right in there. Look at that. That looks great. Now there are multiple ways to preserve your basil. Actually, if you have these plants, like I said, you can dry it. Another fan favorite method is to take it in small plastic baggies, Ziplocs, if you will, or whatever. And those other leaves, you can just throw them right in the freezer, freeze them, so that you have whoo, that's loud. And it's getting processed, folks. Got those, spin it around a little bit here, make sure it comes out the top, sides. And as you go, we can see that it's getting a little bit more pulverized in there. That's definitely the goal this morning. I think this is a good point to add a little bit more oil. Now, remember, you can always add more. You can never add less. So, like with eating marijuana edibles, a little bit at a time is a good call. Definitely coming to a better consistency. We'll show you that again. There we go. It's getting a little bit more liquidy, a little bit more consistent that we want. It doesn't look like whole leaves. Now, the reason, again, I said you got to get those stems out of there. There's one right there. Oops, that was my middle finger. What do you know? All right, more Evo, hon. Good morning, everybody. Your phone numbers to call from. Okay, folks, we're giving some revolutionary instructions here on how to start. There you have it, folks. Basil pesto. Missing a little something. I'm not sure what. Maybe some more nuts will help. Get some pine nut in there. Salt. That's exactly what I forgot. Salt. Garlic salt? No. Make it a little interesting. So remember, you can always make your pesto with a little flavor of your own. Spice it up the way you like. I've had oh yeah, it's a great consistency, folks. That mush, basil pesto. So, thank you all for joining us for this short episode of Cooking in Janet's Kitchen. The Brian Loma cut the plastic. Yeah, have a great day, everybody. We'll talk to you later. Thank you, Terrible Turtle. It does look beautiful. We're gonna make some sandwiches, but I gotta focus on that. I can't do camera and all that at the same time. Enjoy.